but you're their child. You are dependent on your parents, but
why should I be? Why? I mean, if I think
okay, yeah. So you think you can go off and live by yourself when you're 12, 11, 10 years old?
Not by myself,
exactly.
but on help of the government.
You can't.
If the government helps me. Then
you're putting yourself in the foster care system, and that's screwing you over even more than a parent.
No, I mean I still have my parents, but my parents get funded from the government to send me to school.
That would basically mean you're living in an orphanage or a foster care home.
But I'm still living with my parents because the government is funding my parents in order to get me to.
Then that would mean your parents are living on welfare, and that's not right.
Good.
That's not right.
They're not completely living on welfare, just enough so I can go to school. Because
First of all,
have to be able to.
Public schools are free, and yeah, you can use that welfare check to get school supplies.
But I'm able to only get that basic form of education. I want a good education.
Then you work hard enough and get scholarships to colleges.
Not college. I'm talking about K through 12 education, right?
K through 12 education. Public schools, completely free. You're obviously missing that point.
But this is the thing, though, is that right now when I go to school, it's not free. Okay, it is because if you are going.
Are you going to a private school right now?
No,
exactly.
I'm going to a public school, and that's not totally free. It's not as free as you think.
It's only free. It's free in the sense that you don't have to pay to be there. You have to pay for the other things.
Exactly.
School. You have to pay for supplies. That's it. You don't. In college, you have to pay for your textbooks. You have to pay for your tuition. You have to pay for your room. Everything. High school or K through 12 education, you only have to pay for your supplies. An illegal immigrant can sign their children up to go to public school, and they don't. And the school is not. The school is under penalty of the long arm of the justice system. They cannot ask if they're in this country legally. I could hop the border from Mexico or whatever, go into Texas, and find the nearest town, sign my kid up for school. I may not have enough money to buy them supplies, but I can rely on the generosity of other people who want to help.
Relying on generosity isn't going to get this country forward. I think what we need to do is be able to is basically see, we cannot rely on other people in order to get ourselves on track. The government is there for a reason. They're here to help, supposedly, okay? Remember, the worst 9 words in a sentence that you're ever going to hear in your life is, hello, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. That is so wrong.
That's the only 9 words you'll ever hear that are going to help you, or that are going to hurt you when they're from the IRS.
Exactly. And the point is...
That is another organization that we totally need to do.
Why can't the government fully fund myself to go to school? Because, yeah, there are people who cannot buy school supplies and therefore are left in the shadows. If the government pays for you to go to school, that's more government influence. That's good.
That's against the That's against the capitalist ideal.
Well, that's wrong. I don't believe in the capitalist ideal.
Which means that if America was socialist, say we're socialist,
okay,
we would have more government control. But then the people in the government would want more and more power, and we'd slowly begin to turn into a totalitarian state. Do you really want that?
No.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that...
We have enough government to control.
But see, people are going and saying that, I need more power, okay? So that they won't even...
But we have a system of checks and balances that prevent one branch of our government from getting too much power.
Not the branches of government, the people. That's what I'm saying. People are...
The people are not...
want to work up to
No one's above the law.
Supposedly.
No one is above the government.
Supposedly. And see, that's the problem, is that the government should be above the law in order to keep control of people.
Alright, so basically you're saying you want to legalize torture, you want to legalize abortion, you want to legalize everything else.
No, that's the thing. People said that we could legalize abortion. That is the problem. The people said...
If the government's allowed to do whatever it wants...
Not whatever it wants, but more...
If the government is above the law that it's set, it can find loopholes to get around the law, which is wrong.
No, because if you have enough government control to where you are above the law, then what is, because...
Then what's the point of law?
Because then we can to keep the people in their step. To keep the people...
That would just be fueling the classes.
Which is...
Which you just said that you're against the classist society, so you're basically.
But I mean, there needs to be some basic classes, and I say people and government basically, where you have the people.
So basically, what you're saying is the government's up here, the people are down here, and there's nothing in the middle.
No, there doesn't have to be anything in the middle. There's the government, and then there's the people. Those are the only 2 classes. Okay. The government controls the
That's
people.
That's basically what the classes are.
And then provides for the people, and then the
break
work
down
for
into
the
classes.
people. So then I don't have to rely on my parents' income in order for myself to get a good education. Because, like in college, there is that problem where, I can't go to college because my parents don't have the income. I have the scholarships, I have the education, but I don't have the money. That is...
And guess what? All colleges have a financial aid office.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's going to totally help me.
You can get loans.
That's the problem.
When you get
loans.
You get a job, when you get a job to pay off those loans, you're free.
But there's a deadline. There's a certain deadline I have to get to, and then interest, and then it might just denigrate the whole reason to get a job.
That's why almost 100% of college kids have a job, so they can start paying off the loan while they're still in school.
But jobs can distract people from education.
Not really.
Yeah, they can.
Mm-hmm. You have a job.
Yeah, but am I in school right now?
You will be tomorrow.
Yeah, but I'm done with my summer job as is.
Well, if you get a school job, the laws in this country for children working under the age of 18, you can only work a certain number of hours, and they can't be during a school day. You can only work at least, I think it's 4 to 5 hours after school. And there's less restrictions on the weekends because you really don't have anything to do. So you get a job, and it's not really distracting you from your work, because if you want to excel, you do your homework first, and then you go to your job.
But then I don't have okay.
If you don't have time
job, then that's an unbalance. If I pay more attention to one thing, then the other isn't going to provide for itself.
That's why you need to prioritize.
See, that's the problem. Okay, going back to the school system. Okay, you can pay to get better teachers, you can pay to get tutors, you can pay to get, into a private school and then relatively get a better education.
Which really it's not. It's just the teachers pay more attention to you. It's the same curriculum.
But yeah, it's the same curriculum, but the teachers pay more attention to you, meaning I'm getting a better education because I can pay for it. That is...
Do you go to an urban city public school?
Unfortunately.
No, you don't.
Yeah, this is urban.
It's not urban. It's not urban.
Suburban, whatever.
It's a suburban school.
Okay, same.
Which means...
Classes.
Which means that the teachers do not have as many students, and you can still get the same quality education that you could in a private school that you could in your public school. Urban cities like New York, they don't have that privilege because they've got so many students at one time that the classes are literally... People have to stand against the walls.
I can still pay to go to a private school and
if your parents
have the money, which is so stupid because they shouldn't be able to get a better education than I can because they have more money than I do. I think that is disgusting. Because they have more money, because their parents are better than my parents, doesn't mean that I have to pay for it.
You have to pay for it in the metaphorical sense because your parents didn't go and get that good education.
But why should I have to pay for it? I have no influence on it.
If your parents dropped out of high school, that affects you because they made the choice.
Why should it affect me?
They made the choice to help. They made the choice to have you.
Yeah, that's their problem, not mine. My problem is that I need a better education, and because my parents
I keep going back to the fact that public school is free.
Yeah, but if I can't get the same level as education of kids can in private schools, they're getting better educations. Yeah, public school is free, and there is a basic, platform of what you need to get to.
Most of my family, all my family went to a public school, and most of them have gone through college. It doesn't mean...
But that doesn't mean that they couldn't make more than they could now.
Actually, they can.
Yeah, they can make more.
Yeah,
exactly, because they could have had a better education.
No, they do have a good education.
They do have a good education, but they're going to have a better education.
By going to a private school? Where they're more kiss up?
Exactly.
And they try to level the socio-economic playing field by making everybody dress in a uniform, which is another thing that's stifling creativity and individualism and expression.
Well, that's a private school problem. That's not a capitalist socialist problem. You can blame the private schools. There are private schools that don't even enforce uniforms. But the point is that I shouldn't be able to have to pay.
Well, you shouldn't have
parents because I want the highest levels of education possible.
Well, you shouldn't have to pay for education either, except when you go to college.
Agreed.
That's what
capitalism enforces. That you should have to pay for
private schools.
That's the problem. Is that why can't private schools and public schools have both the same level of education? I want to be able to get the highest education possible, but Joe over there shouldn't be able to get a higher education because he can pay for it. which
That's
capitalism is.
No, that's not a problem with capitalism.
Capitalism, classes. He has a better income. He's better than me. His parents have a better income. His parents have higher than me.